Yeah, it's interesting. When you see the stock down this much, you always kind of have an initial reaction. There must be something fundamentally wrong here. But what I think's happening is this recall by J&J has stoked the fears over all the litigation that's outstanding on J&J right now related to sort of the talcum powder. However, from our view, we haven't changed our fair value. We think this is an overreaction by the market and a good opportunity for investors to get into the stock.
I mean, this company has legal expenses that dwarf pretty much any other companies, I would imagine, given not just talc, but opioids and other things as well, as you well know, Damien. 15,000 plaintiffs alone here in terms of this charge that talc powder causes cancer, essentially. Why aren't you, as an analyst following the company, concerned about the possibility that they could be facing significant losses in terms of at least versus these plaintiffs?
Yeah, it's a good question. So what we're factoring in for talcum is about $2 billion in litigation costs, and that's a lot of money. But when you think about it relative to how large Johnson & Johnson is and how large some of its previous settlements have been that haven't had an impact on the stock, I really think $2 billion in costs is about the right amount, and I don't really think that's going to be overly fundamentally bad for the firm's stock price. I think when you think about the discounted cash flows, they generate so much cash, they're able to pay that relatively easily. Beyond that, the only other thing that we are concerned about to some extent is brand damage. So you think about Johnson & Johnson, their consumer business, which is a little bit less than 20% of the top line, still very meaningful. A lot of the power of that consumer group is its brand. And when you have product recalls and you have litigation, it does put a little bit of a dent into that brand power. However, in J&J's case, they have a lot of different brands with different names, so the damage that potentially could be done to the talcum powder probably doesn't carry over to the other brands and largely leaves its brand power intact.
Interesting. Damien Conover from Morningstar, thanks for joining us. Stephen,
Thanks
would
for
you be a
having me.
buyer of J&J down 6%?
No, but I haven't been a buyer of J&J. It's a double whammy. It's also what we're looking at in terms of bipartisan legislation on drug prices, which hits them as well. I think we could all agree, or maybe not, but the talc wouldn't even be on the market if it weren't going to be an admission of guilt if they took it off the market. Why would you buy it? Buy the baby powder. So I do think there's some brand damage there. But to put this into perspective, both Boeing with all the bad news today, and it's significant, and J&J with the bad news are down less than what IBM was down yesterday on earnings. So these are big dollar numbers, but they're not big percentage numbers. So if you were looking to buy J&J, go buy it now. I personally think he's low on his litigation expenses because knowingly having a product like this on the market, if the connection has been drawn, and it has been drawn in some trials, will just increase their damages exponentially. So I'm staying away from J&J.